Snowboarding. Some people think it was popularized because of the kick-ass tricks. Front side board side, backside grab, backside double cork 1080, the proper propeller, the gut buster, the oops, I made my mom cry and now I feel really bad. Others believe it's the inherent counterculture that snowboarding had from the get-go. Some people even dare to say it's because of the punk and hip-hop inspired style that was thriving at the time. These people are big old dummies. It couldn't be more clear why snowboarding is cool. It's because of SSX Tricky. For those of you that weren't given the gift of God to play SSX Tricky as a young child, let me do a quick rundown for you. SSX Tricky is the second installment in the SSX franchise, and it comes only a year after the original Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. It follows a similar arcade style, but this time, we're on the slopes, my guy. No concrete for us, no wheels, no bearings. It's just bindings and boards this time, my boys. There are two game types in SSX Tricky. There's race, where you gotta get down that mountain as quickly split as you can. If that's crashing through glass to find an offbeat shortcut, or physically knocking down your opponents, that's all fair game in race, my friend. The second game type is show off, and this time, it's just you in the slopes. Oh boy. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, rack up as many dang points as you possibly can with hitting jumps, hitting rails, doing all the tricks your little dumb pea brain can imagine. You might be so stupid to think... You may think that with a snowboarding game, you'd be kept to the mountain caps. But SSX Tricky makes it very clear from the get-go that this is not your father's snowboarding game. It starts off nice and easy on Mount Garibaldi, a dainty, predictable track that you would expect to see while watching the X Games or the Winter Olympics, if you so choose. But baby, oh boy, buckle up those bindings, my friend. By the end of the game, you're shooting off vents 100 feet in the air, flying down pipes, smashing through glass windows. I mean, come on! One of my favorite maps as a kid was Mercury City Meltdown. A snow-covered metropolis, you're speeding through streets, flying down subway lines, smashing through glass buildings, and oh my god, this map is shortcut galore. It's almost easier to find shortcuts than the main track itself. And that makes it so fun to go back to, because it never feels like you're riding down the same line. There's the main way to go down that all the NPCs go, but oh, it's nasty. Oh, it's it's nasty, gross. Ew. Get off of it. I've played this track too many times to count on 100 hands, and I keep coming back to this one specifically because of these shortcuts. It makes it feel like you're never going down the same track. And even 15 years later, I'm still discovering new shortcuts to take. This was the first SSX game I played in the series, and because of that, I'm sure I have inherent biases. But dang, does the map design just never hit this bonkers bananas fun again? I was a huge fan of SSX 3, and probably put more hours into that than SSX Tricky. But dang, a boy just wants to get shot in the air sometimes and do a bunch of loop-de-loops. As you progress through the game, you continually unlock new characters and more bonkers-ass tracks. This game has such a diverse character lineup that allows every player to relate to at least one character. And because of that, it became truly fascinating to see who of my friends and family would become attached to which character. Each character also has unlockable boards and outfits, but it doesn't even stop there. They have intricate backstories that you can read about within the game, finding out their facts and bios, favorite foods, their enemies within the game, why they like certain characters and why they dislike others. There was Zoe, Marisol, Eddie, Luther, Moby, JP, Brody, Elise, Kaori, Mac. My go-to character was Mac, and as a small little 10-year-old child in the deep depths of Iowa, he was just the coolest dang thing I ever saw on a screen or in real life. And dang did I want to be just like him. One name that wasn't on the list of characters that I mentioned was Simon. This guy is truly unhinged. Once you select a character, they give a line of dialogue, and each character has about 2 to 3 original lines of dialogue. And often these lines are something that you would expect of under the lines of, "Oh yeah, I'm boarding tonight. Let's shred some gnar." Things that people say. And you know what Simon would say? "It's been a while since they've come and let me out to play." As a young child, that line really messed me up. And now 15 years later, I still don't go a day without thinking about it. There's so much to unpack with that line that I just don't have time to get into. Some of the questions I have are pretty simple, like, who are they? Where is he coming from? Who's choosing to let this man snowboard? But I don't know, in the end, I just hope Simon's alright, honestly. I care for the dude. I've known him for 15 years. And I don't know, if you're out there, Simon, I just want you to know that, everyone here, we love you and we care about you and we hope you've gotten the help that you need. While writing the script to this video, I threw on the SSX Tricky soundtrack, and I had to stop it because I could not concentrate. The music for this game has no dang right to be as good as it is. There are a few artists that make appearances on these tracks, but one name pops up again and again, and that's my main man, John Morgan. Mr. Morgan, I don't know who you are. I've never heard of your music since SSX Tricky or before SSX Tricky, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. It seems that John is a mastermind DJ of this type of music. The soundtrack of this game is a wonder wheel of electronic funk that just gets your little pea brain bouncing back and forth. When this soundtrack is on, there's no way to stop yourself from getting up and dancing your little heart out. It's hard to say how much my love for this game is nostalgia-induced, but one thing is certain. The soundtrack for this game is incredible if you've played this game or not. One of my fondest memories of this game is playing with my best friend, and whenever we'd start the race, I would swerve towards his character and immediately knock him down, and every time that would happen, my best friend would pause the game, restart the track, and then I would do it again and again, and he would just continue to restart the track over and over, and I would just keep punching him and punching him and punching him. SSX came to us during the peak of the action sports arcade style video games. A year prior, the original Tony Hawk Pro Skater was released, and although SSX Tricky didn't have the notoriety or maybe impact that Tony Hawk did, for me it's a game that I can always go back to and immediately brought back to childish wonders and wonderful times with my friends and family. Now as an adult, I only snowboard every few years, but as I hit that first ski lift, looking over the beautiful mountainscapes, and I get to the top and buckle up my bindings for the first time, I think to myself,
it's been a while since they've come and let me out to play.